Welcome to This Week in the News here on Zodiak. This is Joab Frank Jakaza. Some of the main stories in the week ending. Court pushes to Monday inter-party hearing between TUM and government on an injunction over teachers' strike. SADC leaders agree that no member state in the region should stand alone when faced with terrorist threats. Members of ZBS Views Triangle WhatsApp group donate 1.3 million kwacha to the COVID-19 response initiative. In sports, Netball Association of Malawi announces that it shall hold its elective assembly on the 29th of May. Stay with us. We have these and many more. We start with news that the Industrial Relations Court in Lilongwe on Friday pushed to Monday an inter-party hearing between Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, and government over an injunction suspending teachers' work boycott. TUM President Willie Malimba said after adjournment of the hearing that it followed their request for more time to thoroughly scrutinize documents presented by government. The Minister of Education is seeking relief through a court injunction to stop the strike by teachers, demanding government to convert provision of COVID-19 personal protective equipment into cash. Chimome Badata filed this report.
Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, asked for an early adjournment of the inter-party hearing with Ministry of Education. TUM President Willie Malimba told Zodiak after the adjournment, lawyers representing the union will have to take a thorough scrutiny of documents that were served by Ministry of Education, hence seeking an adjournment to Monday, 12th April.
We got the communication yesterday around 10, so we had to discuss with our legal team for this. So we just asked for adjournment. So the case will be, the hearing for this matter will be on Monday to 2 p.m.
Government was represented by lawyer Lumbani Mafriwa during the hearing, while Your Honor Howard Vemba, Deputy Chairperson for the Industrial Relations Court, presided over the hearing. Ministry of Education is seeking relief of the Industrial Relations Court through an injunction that would end the teachers' strike. A notice of government's intention to get the injunction was served to TUM on Thursday, immediately after a meeting that took place between the two sides. The striking teachers are demanding a once-off payment from government for working amid the COVID-19 pandemic. For Zodiac, this is Chimwemwe Badata.
And in the ending week, SADC leaders, including President Lazarus Chakwera, agreed that no member state in the region should stand alone when it is faced with terrorist threats. They have since called for coordinated security measures following the insurgents in northern Mozambique. The leaders of political defense and security arm of the regional bloc made the resolutions after a day-long summit to discuss the attacks in Cabo Delgado by Islamic militants, which has left countless people either dead or homeless. We had this report by Western Guta.
The recent insurgency in Cabo Delgado in the northern part of Mozambique by some Islamic militants has left hundreds of people dead and thousands homeless. The militants, for example, have been mercilessly killing people, sometimes by beheading them, including women and children. This is the reason leaders of the politics, defense and security arm of the SADC bloc will meet today, Thursday, to discuss how to deal with the insurgency. President Lazarus Chakwera has thus said that it is imperative for Malawi to realize that the conflict in the country can as well happen anywhere, hence the need to understand to better handle it.
It's important for us to be able to liaise and work together, and we know that what is happening there could happen anywhere else, and therefore as SADC we would need to work together. And I want to learn more as incoming chair so that we are able to comprehensively handle these things.
The northern Cabo Delgado borders Malawi with Mangochi, and it is feared that this may jeopardize trade between people of the two countries. This is not the first time that security issues in Mozambique concern Malawi, the first being during the 16-year civil war that ended in October 1992. Reporting for Zodiac, I am Western Guta.
On governance issues, a government citizen engagement platform has been launched in the country, with donor partners expressing hope that it will help enhance accountability by duty bearers on matters affecting the citizenry. German ambassador to Malawi, Jürgen Bosch, and the UN women representative in the country, Clara Anyangwe, said this will help empower Malawians in holding duty-bearers accountable on public matters. Minister of Education and National Unity, Timothy Mtambo, whose ministry has launched the platform, believes Babwalo will give a chance to Malawians to engage and seek solutions to the challenges facing the country. Moving on with the news, members of the Zodiak broadcasting station's Views Triangle program WhatsApp group have donated 1.3 million kwacha to the COVID-19 Private Citizens Response Initiative, making the donation at ZBS in Lilongwe. Chairperson for a fundraising committee of the WhatsApp group, Father Matthews Likambale, said Malawians need to unite in fighting the pandemic, which has led to socio-economic stagnation. Father Likambale explains.
As a group and as part of the citizens of this country, we are touched, we are moved by what is going on. But also when the alarm was raised that there was need for some people or some citizens to do something towards the fight against COVID-19, we thought that in our group we should not just be discussing other issues, whether politics or other policy issues. My advice is what came out of my speech as well. I've said we are very good at advising, we are very good at criticizing, but when it comes to action, to actually doing something towards something, we tend to be shying away. So my advice to people is that I think it's high time we moved on, we changed our attitude and start now doing what we preach by actually walking the talk. So I would ask every Malawian in their small way to start now matching what they say and what they do.
Well, a member of the Private Citizens Response Initiative, Dr. Victor Miti, says the donation will assist in its intervention of maintaining equipment in a number of public hospitals.
No, we're very happy to be here and receive this donation. As you know, that the Private Citizen Initiative has had a very huge success in terms of mobilizing resources, but deficits are always there, and we believe that where we were lacking, this amount of money will be able to seal those gaps. And I just want to reassure the Malawians that as we have done before, we'll continue doing the same to make sure that there's transparency, accountability, and to make sure that the intended use of this money is achieved. Right now we embarked in a very huge process of trying to fix some of the equipments that have not been functional in the hospitals. For instance, just to give you an idea, we are fixing a genset at Dowa District Hospital, also fixing a genset at Lumpi District Hospital, and we're embarking on a number of water projects in southern region in a couple of hospitals. So we believe that in those areas, that's where this money will go and help in that regard.
This week, the Commercial Division of the High Court in Lilongwe granted a stay order in a case in which David Chijaonga is claiming ownership of Reserve Bank of Malawi premises in Mzuzu. Chijaonga has been claiming ownership of the building on the basis that he has intellectual property rights in the architectural design of the building. In his ruling, Judge Kenan Manda stated that the action taken by the defendant in threatening to sell the Mzuzu building is not only misconceived, but also troublesome. You're watching This Week in the News on Zodiac. We still have more to come. Stay with us.
Building a successful business is not an easy task. It takes a lot of focus, hard work, persistence, determination, and sacrifices. With the passage of time, business growth is achieved to the amazement of the investor. After witnessing such growth, a strategic business person secures the business from risks that have the ability to ruin the investment. That is where the Prime Insurance Company comes in with a business insurance policy that targets small and medium enterprises. If you own a fuel service station, restaurant, lodge, clinic, farm, photography studio, retail or wholesale shop, you have an important partner in us. Without waiting for fate to strike on your investment, reach out to us at our offices in all the major cities of the country and get your business covered at affordable rates. Prime Insurance Company. We care and share in times of need.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Do you know, here at Lilongwe Water Board, we have in place a 24-hour call center just for you, our customers. Anytime you experience a water problem, don't hesitate to call us on 253 and it's free. Low water pressure, no water situation, billing queries, bill payment, pipe burst, pipe leaks, faults, tips, and illegal connections. Just dial 253 and we will assist you.
Coach is a national bus zilipa mseu tsopano. Yenda nulendo wanu wapakati pa Blantyre ndi Lilongwe mofewa pokwera coach za executive zapamwamba za national bus. Mabaso okhala ndi zipangizo zili zonse monga wifi, madispenser amadzi, kanema wa HD, zipangizo zopangira coffee, air conditioner, toilet ndi zina zambiri pakamtengo ka 10,000 kwacha kokha basi kuyambira pa 10 March mpaka pa 10 May 2021. Malo nyamukira ku Blantyre quarter past 6 mmawa ndi 3 koloko masana ku Golden Peacock Hotel, half past 6 mmawa ndi half past 3 masana omwe panali best pair pafupi ndi City Motors ku General Corner, ndipo 7 koloko mmawa ndi 4 koloko masana ku Quick Fit pafupi ndi Riles Hotel. Ku Lilongwe half past 6 mmawa ndi half past 3 masana ku BICC, quarter to 7 mmawa ndi quarter to 4 masana kuchokera ku 7-Eleven, ndipo 7 koloko mmawa ndi 4 koloko masana pa City Mall. Mukafuna kudziwa zambiri imbani pa 0884-821-098 kapena 0999-910-170. National Bus Coaches, bridging the transportation gap.
Sompenya amalawi watukula Malawi 2063 ufika 2063 kale wokomera aliyense achinyamata tikwirane manja tukula Malawi achinyamata tikale patsogolo tukula Malawi 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 wozimira paeka Malawi Malawi wokomera aliyense Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.
Welcome back. Let's look at the top stories once again. Court pushes to Monday inter-party hearing between TUM and government on an injunction over teachers' strike. SADC leaders agree that no member state in the region should stand alone when faced with terrorist threats. Members of ZPS Views Triangle WhatsApp group donate 1.3 million kwacha to the COVID-19 response initiative. And in sports, Netball Association of Malawi announces that it shall hold its elective assembly on the 29th of May. Moving on with the news. President Lazarus Chakwera was urged to ensure the new cabinet he is expected to release soon respects the gender equality law, which prescribes for a 46th gender quota in public appointments. NGO Gender Coordination Network Chairperson for Women in Politics and Decision-Making Committee, Thandizo Mpwio, said during a media briefing in Lilongwe on Wednesday, this could go a long way in women empowerment. Meanwhile, presidential spokesperson Brian Banda says the president will appoint cabinet in line with the law. We had a report that was filed by Winston Kaimira.
NGO Gender Coordination Network is concerned with the country's failure to promote women's equal participation in politics as well as leadership. The body says there is a silently perpetuated narrative in the country that women are not fit for leadership. NGO GCN Chairperson for Women in Politics and Decision-Making, Thandizo Mpwio, describes this as a betrayal to the largest single community within the country's population. She said during a media briefing in Lilongwe that the body expects President Lazarus Chakwera to respect the Gender Equality Act when appointing new cabinet.
Since we're waiting for the cabinet to be out, we are urging the appointing office itself, the highest office, that they should consider women now.
Presidential spokesperson Brian Banda says President Chakwera will respect the law.
The proportional gender representation in governance bodies is addressed by the Gender Equality Act. And the president is aware of what is expected of him by the law. And the president is very eager to call on other institutions, including the civil society themselves, to follow his example.
Currently, women representation in President Chakwera's cabinet stands at 38%. NGO GCN has since released a statement asking both state and non-state actors, as well as the country's development partners, to assist in efforts of ensuring that women are empowered in politics as well as leadership. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak.
In the ending week, the 50/50 Campaign Management Agency asked the Minister of Gender to expedite the process of having an electoral provision of women quota in Parliament. Oxfam's country director Lingaleni Mihoa told us that performance of women in recent by-elections calls for speedy enactment of the provision. Minister of Gender Patricia Galiati said while the ministry is committed to putting in place a legislation on the matter, parties should deliberately support women aspirants. Joseph Mazizi filed this report.
At least 44 women made it to Parliament in the 2019 general elections, which was an increase from the 42 who won in 2014. But the number reduced following the death of Member of Parliament for Nshisi North, Jacqueline Chikuta, and loss of seat by Esther Nchega Chilenje, formerly of Nsanje North. Both seats have now been won by men, as no female candidate won the by-elections. This, according to 50/50 campaigners, is a worrying development, suggesting the women quota could be the best way of addressing the matter. Country Director for Oxfam, Lingaleni Mihoa, says the Minister of Gender should fast-track the process on this electoral reform area, which she says is very key for the country's development.
Most of the countries, particularly here on the African continent, that have done well in terms of numbers of women's representation being high, they have done so using the quota as an interim strategy. So if you look at very good case studies of the likes of Uganda, Rwanda, you actually find that most of the times the women have been given a quota, and that gender quota is the one that secures women a particular number of seats. So that those that go through the elections through the first past the post are only topping up on a given number that you have.
However, the minister responsible, Patricia Galiati, says they are doing all they can on the quota proposal.
That's a good idea. If that would be the case, I don't have any problem. I support it.
Debate on the introduction of seats said to specifically be contested by women in all the districts was met with resistance from different quarters, including members of parliament, arguing the rationale was not clear. Reporting for Zodiak from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
And now we turn to sports. The Netball Association of Malawi NAM announced in the week that it shall hold its elective assembly on 29th of May. Vice General Secretary Brian Gausi has confirmed to us that delegates will elect the association's new executive committee to run netball affairs for the next 4 years until 2025. Incumbent President Kungeki Rematia remains the only person in the current executive committee who expressed interest to seek re-election. Sambana gave us this report.
Gausi says apart from reports from the President, General Secretary and the Treasury, delegates will also assent to the proposal for the hiring of full-time auditors for the association. The NAM Vice General Secretary says the need for auditors to handle the association's finances has been necessitated to reclaim public trust. The Malawi National Council for Sports and the Netball Association of Malawi have on several occasions been at loggerheads over the netball governing body's failure to produce audit audited accounts for public funds.
Honestly, we've been having problems minus them, but this time around we want to have them full-time with us so that our resources, the resources the government gives us, they are prudently used. So we want even other stakeholders to really trust us and invest in us and assist us in the development of netball in the country.
Meanwhile, candidates to contest various positions at the May 29 elective assembly will have to be nominated by regional affiliates. Previously, competition was open to all, but Gausi says the nomination process has been adopted to identify people who have passion for the development of the sport.
We still have been having candidates who are not very capable of holding such positions. We feel the whole regional committee are nominating a candidate that will give us really candidates who are capable of running the association.
Current serving President Kungeki Rimatia expressed interest to seek re-election, but reports indicate that politician Abigail Sherif, who once served as Treasurer General, and former Malawi Queens players Emiwaya Chongwe and Linda Magombo are also interested in contesting the election.
That's all we had time for in This Week in the News. A reminder of some of the top stories before we leave you. Court pushes to Monday inter-party hearing between TUM and government on an injunction over teachers' strike. SADC leaders agree that no member state in the region should stand alone when faced with terrorist threats. Members of ZBS Views Triangle WhatsApp group donate 1.3 million kwacha to the COVID-19 response initiative. And in sports, Netball Association of Malawi announces that it shall hold its elective assembly on the 29th of May. Visit ZodiacMalawi.com for more news. Thanks for watching. I am Joab Frank Chakaza. COVID-19 vaccination is underway. Make a decision to protect yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.
Simply Fashion offers